Ashraf was a first-rate mage while Godot was not an ordinary person because she had a strange body that was cursed by a witch. Their mission was to solve cases related to magic, but at the same time, to help Godot find the witch who cursed her to get revenge. One day, they both went to a city where they got information that a witch lived. They immediately asked the salesman in a bakery about this witch, so the salesman pointed to another customer, named Marie, because he believed that she knew better about who they were looking for. Ashraf was glad that they immediately found someone who knew the witch, but according to Marie, everyone living in the city knew this person. Suddenly, a monster appeared not far from them, so they hurried out. Godot thought that this was the witch whom they were looking for, but Marie said that it was not her. A few moments later, the witch that they were expecting, named Ione, arrived and quickly defeated the monster. The people knew her as a hero because of what she would usually do to help the police in maintaining the peace of the city. For Marie to introduce their savior to the two visitors, she approached Ione. But Godot suddenly disappeared, and Ashraf wondered where she went. It turned out that she followed Marie, and immediately attacked Ione. Ione was able to use her magic and tie her attacker, then the police immediately grabbed Godot. Ashraf acted quickly to help her, and decided for them to leave first. In the afternoon, the two went to the mansion where they could find a sealed curse made by a witch 400 years ago. According to their information, Ione was currently living there. After a while, the girls who were just as Marie's age also came, and then the two learned that there would be a celebration in the mansion that night. Marie greeted the girls, but since she did not like what the two did to Ione earlier, she did not allow them inside. By nightfall, Ashraf learned new information about the alleged curse and what was being celebrated in the mansion. Because of this, he prepared immediately and allowed Godot to do her mission. While at the mansion, Marie was surprised that she had fallen asleep. She was horrified that she no longer had her hands and feet like the other girls who were lying on the ground. Ione came to the room, so Marie found out that they would be used as keys to release the hellfire that was sleeping in the city. She was also shocked that the witch who was suspected by the residents that set the city on fire was Ione's grandmother. After a while, the first seal was opened, so some parts of the city also started to burn. When Godot arrived, she immediately tried to attack Ione, but was caught when she got ahead of her. She rushed to attack once again, but was hit when the witch used her power on her. It was the moment that Ione found out what Ashraf was planning, so she immediately attacked him and imprisoned Marie. When Godot got up, she showed Ione the curse mark on her neck. It was done by a witch who was a shifter, so she ventured into the city hoping that Ione might be the one that she was looking for. Unfortunately, Ione said that she was not the one who did it, but told her that in order to remove the curse, she had two options. First, was the kiss from the man who truly loves her and the one she also loved. Second, was to have it removed by the very witch who put it on her. But Ione had no idea that there was another way to temporarily remove the curse. And it was to get a kiss from any witch that Godot was planning to do. Because of this, the curse was removed, causing Godot to return to her original body, which was a huge and powerful man inside the coffin. When Godot came out, Ione attacked him immediately. When Godot was able to hold Ione, he gave her a strong punch which caused her immediate defeat. After Ashraf cured Marie and the other girls, they also immediately left the place. One day, they went to the mansion of a rich man who was fond of collecting scary creatures. He hired them to ask for help because one of his collections had escaped. When they saw it, they learned that it was a magical creature. They were assigned to capture the creature without it getting hurt. Ashraf immediately started catching it, and using his power, he easily finished the task. After they left the area, they had their meal outside, but Godot could not stop herself from expressing her annoyance because they were working on cases that had nothing to do with witches. She reminded Ashraf that she only agreed to become a member of the organization because they promised to help her find the witch who cursed her. But Ashraf also reminded her that she also needed to help the organization in other missions, and if there was a case that had to do with the witches, those were their priority. A few moments later, someone delivered a letter to Ashraf and it was from the organization. Although Ashraf did not directly say what was stated in the letter, Godot could feel that it had something to do with the witch based on the tone of his words. But when they arrived at the house that requested their services, it turned out to be just an old woman who wanted to have the box with the runic inscription be opened. Since Ashraf was an expert when it was about this matter, he was able to open the box quickly. But when they came out of the house, Godot was more annoyed that Ashoff had just tricked her. Ashoff just reasoned that he did not say the mission to have anything to do with the witch, and he told her that he even left the coffin. A few days later, they received another letter from the organization, and this time, the envelope was black. It only meant that the case had something to do with witches. When Ashoff read the letter, it was about the alleged killer witch in Hayden, which was the capital of fears. One night, the so-called witch attacked a victim in the city, so the person assigned to the case, named Kira, immediately went there. She was also the only mage in the city. Aside from the victims, there were also reported injuries after the police chased the witch on the street. Due to the series of crimes, her coworker suggested that it might be better if they would ask for help from the Paladin Corps. Since they were after the witch who killed the most important person to Kira, she promised that this witch would pay for what he did to Ruben. While she was on her way home, she saw Ashoff and Godot talking about the crimes in which she was involved. So she asked who they were because they seemed to know her. Kira was getting ready to attack, but Ashoff told her that he already knew what she was planning. Then they introduced themselves to Kira, and said that they came after the Order of Magical Resonance assigned them to help her. After the confirmation from their mayor that he was the one who requested the organization, Kira agreed to talk to Ashoff and Godot. Ashoff mentioned that one of the reasons why they were there was because the mayor did not want to ask for help from the Paladin Corps. His reason was probably to get the honor that the Hayden police solved the case without needing the help of the Paladin Corps. But Kira knew that the two had another goal in the city, so Ashoff also told her about the witch's curse on Godot. For this reason, it was also their mission to find the witch who put the curse on her. After what Ashoff had said, Kira decided to work with them. The next day when they started investigating, Kira mentioned why they suspected that a witch was the perpetrator of the crimes in the city. Aside from its extreme power, the perpetrator would usually also leave a message at the crime scene. And she found out that the other messages came from a book. At that moment, they were heading to the bookshop that ordered many copies of this book. But when they entered the bookshop, they found the decomposing body of the owner. Based on the wound the victim received, magic was used to kill him. That night when they separated from Kira, Godot told Ashoff to prepare because someone was approaching them. When this person appeared to them, he tried to attack them, so Godot quickly made a counterattack, but the enemy suddenly disappeared. Since they went with Kira, Godot already felt as if someone was watching them. To clarify the situation, they spoke to Kira immediately to ask her if she had a connection with the witch that they were chasing, because it seemed that their enemy was always after her. It was here that Kira decided to tell them what happened before. She started telling them about the apartment where she was staying that caught fire. Unfortunately, her adopted children, named Shulk and Lauren, perished in that incident. When they saw the message written on the wall near the apartment, they thought that the culprit was a witch. A few hours later, while they were talking about the message, the witch suddenly attacked them. Ruben came out of the magical array to face their enemy, but it caused his death. After listening to her, Ashoff found out that Kira supported the mayor so that she could take revenge on the witch. Then a few moments later, Kira's colleague informed them that the witch had given a warning that it would show up at their station after 3 days. So in the evening of the third day, the police got ready at the station. It did not take long and the enemy appeared to them. When it attacked the building, they were unable to immediately take action because of the purple smoke the enemy released. The witch killed some of the policemen, and he suddenly disappeared. But he did not know that Ashoff's crow had followed him. They immediately went to his hiding place, and after a policeman was attacked, Godot acted to catch the enemy. But it turned out that the enemy was not alone, causing Godot to be badly injured by a surprise attack. It was here that they found out that their enemies were not witches, but teenagers. Kira was shocked because it turned out that the two were Shulk and Lauren, whom she thought were already dead. When they noticed what the two were holding, Ashoff immediately knew that those were the 2-volume grimoire Sarnavasis. Those were the reason why they possessed powers similar to the witches. The teenagers blamed Kira on what happened to them because they saw the grimoires on Kira's desk that caused them to act like this. They said that they did not want to kill anybody, but they had to do it to make a sacrifice to the grimoire. But Godot just laughed at them because based on the injuries from the bodies of the victims, it seemed that the two enjoyed what they were doing. When Lauren suddenly vomited blood, the teenagers were surprised because they knew that they were able to complete the sacrifice that the grimoire demanded. To answer them, Ashoff showed that the policemen whom they attacked were not real people. In their anger, they both tried to attack, but those did not work against the speed and strength of Godot. Kira asked them why they killed Ruben, so Lauren admitted that they did not want to see her with another man. She could not accept the reason given to her, so she decided to kill the teenagers. One day after they solved another case, they saw an undead being chased by the police. Because of this, Godot acted quickly to put this man to sleep. They found out from a policeman, named Jeff, that the man did not receive his maintenance from its necromancer, causing him to act wild. They were also having trouble because cases like this seemed to increase. In this situation, the woman recommended Ashoff and Godot because they were members of the Order of Magical Resonance. Ashoff clarified that they were not experts when it comes to undead cases, but they would recommend someone who was an expert in such situation. They were Fanora and Johan, who were necromancy specialists. Jeff wasted no time and immediately requested the service of these experts from the Order of Magical Resonance. When they met face to face, Jeff explained the situation to them. He told them that at the moment, they had 6 cases that were still undocumented, so they did not know who the necromancer was. Although their city allowed the resurrection, it was still illegal to be considered if they did not follow the correct process, so they had to find the necromancer responsible for it. Fanora had a suspicion that the culprits might be vagrants, but they had to investigate first to find out if her suspicion was correct. Fortunately, Jeff had already prepared the details that Ashoff asked him about all the registered undead in the city as well as necromancers, so the work of Fanora would be easier. They went to the abandoned church to draw the undead closer to them using Fanora's lamp. Although it had no light in their eyes, it shines for the undead, especially those who did not receive their maintenance. After a while, the undead came, and they were surprised that there were so many of them. When Jeff saw an undead woman, he suddenly remembered his dead fiancée that he did not want to be like these creatures. Fanora put the light on Johan, and she let him be attacked by the undead. Fanora did not expect that there were so many undead, and she had a hunch that they came from the same place. She reasoned that they arrived at the same time, and because of this, they were sure that there were no registered undead among them. After a few minutes, Johan successfully finished off all the undead. When Fanora approached the undead, she noticed that their appearance was almost unrecognizable. As if the necromancer who brought them to life had no intention of bringing them back to life. She was now wondering why they were even resurrected. They also noticed that the undead women mostly had red hair. Then they decided to follow the footsteps of the undead, so they could trace where they came from. After a few minutes of walking, they arrived in a place with a big house. When Johan looked closer at it, he was suddenly attacked by the undead. This was when the undead came out and represented the necromancer that owned the house. She wanted to let them inside the house, but Jeff suggested that they just run away. The undead suddenly mentioned Jeff's name, so he was surprised that she knew him. What shocked him more was when he saw his fiancée, who also became undead. In order to force Fanora to agree to go inside the house, the necromancer took Johan as a hostage. For this reason, Fanora could do nothing but follow what she wanted. When they entered the room where the necromancer was waiting for them, they saw many mannequins on display with red hair. Here they found out that he had a plan to revive one of the most important people in his life. Unfortunately, the fire consumed the whole body of the woman that he was referring to, so he was looking for someone as a replacement. He chose Fanora because of her beautiful face. And those undead women with red hair whom they faced earlier were just the product of his experiments. After Fanora heard the necromancer's reasons, she was just disappointed. When the undead were about to touch her, she just easily turned them into ashes. So they found out that she was not only a necromancer, but also a witch. The owner of the house did not expect that he had invited a witch. He was so scared that he reminded Fanora that he had Johan's body. But his threats did not work on Fanora. Because of this, he was forced to let the undead he created into the room to face her. So Fanora also released her disciples, whom she called the Death Knights. They were so powerful that the enemies could not do anything against them. Even Jeff's fiancée did not survive from them either. Fanora apologized to Jeff because this was the only way to stop the undead. The necromancer went to the coffin of his beloved to make her a warrior as well. But he was surprised when Johann suddenly appeared in the room. It was here that he found out that Johann was also an undead. But he was not just an ordinary undead because he was a witch's undead. Even though the necromancer tried to kill him, it still did not work. For this reason, the enemy could no longer do anything on what Johann wanted to do to him. So when Fanora and Jeff went there, they could hardly recognize the necromancer's appearance. It was Fanora who finished him off, but they made him undead to bring back the undead he revived as humans. He could not believe that he was already an undead. He was even worried about the afterlife, but Fanora reminded him that she would not keep him at peace as long as she was still in the world. While Jeff found out that he could still see his fiancée again. One day, while Godot was having breakfast, Ashoff showed her the black envelope. Ashoff said that although a witch was the suspected perpetrator based on the description of the letter to the victims, he could feel that it was not just an ordinary case. It turned out that the mission given to them was to help the witch, and they would surely face the Paladin Corps. When they arrived in the city, they found the residents fleeing due to the continued pursuit on the witch by the Paladin Corps. When they were blocked by Paladin Corps members, Ashoff said that they were just going to visit his grandmother who lived there. He pretended that he lost contact with her, so he wanted to make sure that she was safe. In order to be allowed to get past them, he was asked for an ID indicating that he was indeed from the city. After that, they were given permission to enter, but were accompanied by one member of Paladin Corps. And when they got far enough, that was the moment when Godot put him to sleep. On the other hand, the commander of the Paladin Corps, named Matt, returned to the headquarters after the witch escaped from his watch. But their search unit did not stop in the search to find her. With them was an emissary from the Holy Church who was their assistant in their pursuit, and he was chosen because he knew a lot about witches. A few moments later, Ashoff and Godot arrived at the barrier of the Paladin Corps. While he was trying to create a hole for them to enter, some Paladin Corps seekers were suddenly thrown towards their location. That was when they saw the witch, named Helga, so Godot told Ashoff to hurry. A few seconds later, one of the search units announced the defeat of the seekers for an unknown reason. It turned out to be the work of Godot, who also quickly went to where Helga was. She also tried to ask Helga if she recognized her, but it turned out that she was not the witch that she was looking for either. Their fight continued until Ashoff came to capture Helga with his compression spell. Through Helga's ultoma, Ashoff recognized her immediately. It turned out that Helga was a descendant of an origin called Quina, who was known as the Dauntless Witch. The emissary was currently informing Matt about it, and although Helga's clan was not well known for fighting, they still could not underestimate her because they had the ability to destroy the world. Not long after, Ashoff's cage that contained Helga suddenly broke, and here they saw the demon sword called Ashgon. This was what the emissary was referring to as their most dangerous enemy. After hearing this information, Matt immediately prepared his men to try to hunt Helga again before she could use the power of the demon sword. Meanwhile, Ashoff and Godot were forced to hide after the compression spell did not work on Helga. But it was not long before Helga found them in their location. It was here that Ashoff took the opportunity to talk to Helga and tell her why they came. When he said that it was their mission to save her from the Paladin Corps, Ashgon suddenly laughed and it surprised them. Ashoff did not expect that the demon sword was also talking. Ashgon wanted Helga to trust Ashoff and Godot, but Helga refused to do it. Because of this, Ashoff suggested that she should kill them like her other victims. But Helga could not do it, so Ashoff was more convinced that Helga was not the culprit of the crimes that happened. They were suddenly attacked by Seekers, so Helga also left them immediately. But as she was running away from Ashoff, she met Matt on the street. Before they fought, Godot also came there to help Helga. When Matt attacked them, Godot thought of kissing Helga, but Ashoff stopped her. He explained that it was not the time for them to use their weapon because they still had not enough information about the whole situation. And at the moment, all they had to do was to give Helga time to escape. After he told Helga his plan, she quickly left. But when Godot attacked Matt, he countered her. She tried to attack him again, but she was trapped in ice. And that was when Matt decided to use one of his strongest techniques on Helga. He was an elemental mage, that's why his spells were so powerful. When Ashgon was separated from Helga, Matt immediately took the sword. But he was suddenly attacked, and it was done by Godot. When Matt let go of Ashgon, a paladin core named Lowell got the sword, so Godot tried to take it back. Matt also tried to help in snatching the sword, so Godot threw it far from them. Helga was about to take it when the Seekers got ahead of her. Luckily, Godot also came to stop them. When Matt attacked them again, they tried to run away, but it turned out that he prepared another powerful attack to try to stop them. Due to the strength of Matt's attack, they were not able to get up immediately, so Matt got Ashgon and imprisoned the sword in ice. Then he bound Godot and Helga for them to be taken to the castle. But Ashoff suddenly came, so Ashoff took this opportunity to tell Matt his suspicions about the case in which Helga was being suspected as the culprit. Meanwhile, when Matt's disciples arrived at the castle, Ashgon got out of being imprisoned, so he manipulated those close to him, and it caused them to fight. But what surprised him was that his power did not work on Godot. A few moments later, Pharmus came to the scene and was surprised because the emissary followed him together with the Seekers. He let the Seekers attack those who were fighting near Godot and Helga. Then it was here that the emissary wore a mask because it turned out that he was a member of the Executioners, and Ashoff was also telling this to Matt. Pharmus failed to protect himself and was being controlled by the Executioner. Matt did not believe what Ashoff was saying because they knew that the Executioners had been eliminated for a long time. At that moment, Matt suddenly remembered the emissary sent by the church. He tried to contact the command center, but no one answered him. Then he was suddenly attacked by Lowell, who was a traitor and an ally of the Executioner. Due to the excessive heat from her weapon, he quickly weakened. Then she shot Ashoff, who could not protect himself. Ashgon immediately told Helga to pull him out because he was their only hope in that situation. But Godot managed to break free from being bound, so she also released Helga. When she got Ashgon, Helga was grabbed by Pharmus Seeker. That's why Helga pushed her so she could escape with Ashgon. After that, Godot immediately went to Ashoff and Matt's location and thought that the battle was a draw because both were unconscious. When she woke him up, Ashoff immediately approached Matt to heal him. While Ashoff was getting ready, Matt suddenly woke up and was surprised that Godot was already with them. So Godot told them about the situation in the castle. As soon as Ashoff healed Matt, they planned on what they would do next. But before they could come up with a good plan, the enemy suddenly came with Helga. As the Executioner showed them what his forbidden instrument could do, Helga took this opportunity to escape. Ashoff also acted quickly to stop the Seekers. But when Helga got close to Godot, she attacked her as well as Ashoff and Matt. It turned out that she was being controlled by the Executioner, so when she took Ashgon, she handed over to their enemy. Then the Executioner pulled it out, and to completely remove the seal on it, he aimed at Helga's heart. After that, Ashgon transformed into his true form and immediately attacked, which destroyed the castle. Ashoff immediately used his power to heal Helga. The Executioner thought that he had complete control over the demon sword because he was the one who pulled it out. But he was shocked when it attacked the Seekers and Paladin Corps that he controlled. So Ashoff explained why it was impossible for him to control the demon sword. But the Executioner thought that he might just need more sacrifices for his mind control to work on the sword. Lowell approached and complained to him, so he used his mind control on her. He thought of the residents who evacuated, and he planned to make them his sacrifice. Due to the extreme power of the demon sword, Ashoff decided to use their ultimate weapon. When Helga regained consciousness, she immediately learned from Ashoff what had happened. She remembered the day when the Executioners attacked their family to get the demon sword. In order for her to escape with the demon sword, her sibling decided to sacrifice herself. That's why she felt so sad because she failed to fulfill her duty. Another thing that she regretted was the fact that she had never been kissed yet. When Godot got close to them, Ashoff told her to close her eyes and said that he would fulfill her wish. She thought it was Ashoff who was going to kiss her, but it turned out to be Godot. After Godot's real body came out of the coffin, Helga wondered why Godot was next to her. Matt was surprised when he felt Godot's intense aura, and even Ashgon stopped from attacking. While the Executioner was heading to the shelter of the evacuees, his forbidden instrument was also restless. Ashoff told Godot that it would be better if the demon's sword would not die, so he reminded him not to use his right hand. Helga was not convinced that Godot could defeat Ashgon, but she was shocked when he managed to block Ashgon's attack. The demon's sword attacked again but was once again blocked by Godot. Matt took the opportunity to attack, but Ashgon just split it into two. He just continued to attack with his strongest techniques, but they did not work on Ashgon. Then Ashgon attacked Godot, who only blocked by its right hand. Because of this, Godot had the opportunity to attack him with his left hand. It was so strong that caused Ashgon to be thrown away while remembering their last moments with the Dauntless Witch. He never thought that the day would come when someone would be able to stop him. However, he was still grateful because he was not able to kill Helga. Soon he returned to his sword form. On the other hand, as the executioner approached the evacuees and pretended to ask for help so he could enter the barrier, Godot suddenly attacked him with the help of Ashoff. Godot followed its several attacks until the executioner could not move anymore. In the afternoon, Matt asks the executioner why he attacked the Paladin Corps. He admitted that this was not his mission, but just a personal choice. He knew that the other executioners and the church were also on the lookout for the demon's sword. He thought that if Matt could get the demon's sword, his goal would be accomplished faster. Ashoff believed what the executioner was saying because he knew that he had a partner. But since his partner did not arrive to help, it was only a proof that what he did was for his personal interest. Then he gave a suggestion to Matt that he could just kill the executioner with Lowell, and made an excuse that they were killed in a fierce battle. Matt asked Helga what she wanted to do with the executioner because he knew that the enemy was guilty and had a great sin on Helga's family. Although Helga did not care about Matt's plan for the enemies, she only asked that before he punished them, he must make them feel the pain until they wished that they had never been born. Ashoff decided to take Helga to their base, and so did Ashgon to get it fixed. He knew that Ashgon could come back because Godot only used his left hand to defeat it. When they arrived there, only him and Helga entered the building and left Godot outside. While Godot was waiting for them, she heard the children saying that they had seen a witch. Because of this, she quickly approached the children to ask them about the whereabouts of this witch. When they arrived at the witch's house, Godot noticed something strange on her left foot. She did not mind it that much at first, and immediately went straight to enter the gate of the house. She was met by an old woman whom she thought was a witch, so she tried to attack her, but she could not move her foot. Then the old woman's pets came to her, and they scratched her to protect their owner. Meanwhile, when Ashoff got to the reception area, the newly arrived letter was handed to him and it was a black envelope. After reading it, he quickly went out to get back to Godot. The old woman let Godot in her house as well as the children. But while they were busy preparing a meal, an executioner came who immediately took them all to another dimension using the power of its cloak. When Godot regained consciousness, she found out that this man was the partner of the executioner that they faced the other day. He said that his partner behaved strangely, so he followed him, but when he arrived in the city, it was too late. At that time he saw Godot's group leaving the city, so he followed them. He wanted to know where his partner and his forbidden instrument were. Suddenly, a girl entered this dimension which surprised the executioner. When Godot saw her, she recognized her immediately because it turned out that she was the witch who put the curse on her, whose name was Angela. She was also what was written in the letter that gave the reason for Ashoff to hurriedly check on Godot. Since Angela was able to move freely, the executioner thought that it was also because of the cloak that she was wearing. But he was shocked when Angela said that she just copied his cloak. Godot was able to stand up, which was why he wondered how she did it because he only allowed her to use limited senses. Godot tried to attack Angela, but because of her condition, she was easily defeated. On the other hand, when they no longer saw Godot outside, Ashoff immediately used his crows to search for her. He was worried because he knew that Godot would not be able to fight well, since he did not completely heal her to prevent her from getting into trouble. Nevertheless, she still had no hope of winning even if her whole body was in good shape. When Angela approached her, Godot tried to kiss her, but she did not succeed. She told her where she could find her, and if she succeeded, then they could continue the fight that they had before. While Angela was leaving, Godot tried to attack, but the barrier protected her. Angela retaliated, causing Godot to lose consciousness. After some time, Ashraf and Helga found her wounded and lying on the ground. They also found the dead body of the executioner with letters and numbers written on its body. Helga found out that the Angela that Ashraf was referring to was one of the origin witches. She could not believe that Angela was still alive even though witches only last about 200 years. Ashraf knew that Angela carved the letters and numbers on the executioner's body, and that this was the beginning of her desire to face Godot in a battle again. The next day when Godot regained consciousness, she asked Ashraf if he did something to her body that caused her not to move properly the other day. Ashraf admitted it, so in Godot's anger, she attacked him until she hit his stomach. He had broken his ribs, so he healed them first. Then they remembered the first day that they met 3 years ago. At that time, Godot was also looking for Angela. Ashraf was assigned to go to a village with a known witch, and since Godot also found out about it, she also went there. Until the day came when someone attacked the farmer's cattle. So one day while she was on her way home with her younger brother, named Owen, the owner of the killed cow confronted them. Then their friend, named Craig, came there to defend them. But the angry cow owner did not listen to him. Fortunately, Ashraf came to interfere. But because the cow owner still did not want to listen, he used his magic on him and on its companion. Then he ordered him to let Owen go, and sent the children home. Godot also met these men at that time, and when she saw Falval, she immediately rushed forward, but was quickly intercepted by Ashraf. Suddenly, a creature appeared behind them and attacked Godot. Then it suddenly disappeared, and those who saw it, thought that it was Falval's doing. To avoid another trouble, they immediately left there and they decided to take Ashraf to their house as well. When they arrived at the house, Ashraf had tasted Falval's tea. It turned out they also brought Godot, and Ashraf tested her because of her strength. Although he saw no sign of magical enhancement on her body, it was only a proof that she was under a witch curse because of the curse mark. To clarify everything, Ashraf wanted to confirm if Falval really could not speak. So Owen answered and said that not only Falval, but all the witches in their family could not speak. Her situation became Ashraf's basis why Falval could not cast a spell. Before he continued asking the questions, he explained to Owen how to cast a magic spell through runes. Ashraf added that apart from runes, there was another way to cast a spell. This was the vocative magic that was used by the same origin which named Luna or the Mystic Witch. At the moment, Ashraf was sure that Falval was not the perpetrator of the killed cows, so he asked if someone from outside the village had come in the past few days. It was here that Craig said that he and his father had been living there for half a year. Ashraf took Godot with him and they talked about Falval. He reminded Godot again how Falval reacted after she saw her curse mark. She had a suspicion that Falval might also have this mark on her body. Since she could not speak even though it was one of their ways of casting a spell, she might be under a curse as well. She tried to ask Ashraf what it was, but they heard that there was a commotion, so they went to the location. They saw Craig among the crowd, and learned that someone attacked the mayor. They also found out that an expert witch hunter suddenly appeared, and together with other residents, they were on their way to Falval's house. He saw through the crow that it was an executioner, so he was about to go there when he suddenly shot Craig. He knew that he was the partner of the executioner, and he was right about his suspicion. But he was hit by Craig's attack, that's why he failed to block its next attack. Falval soon noticed the thick smoke coming from their house. Godot went to where Ashraf was thrown because she wanted to know the third way to remove the curse. But before Ashraf say it, he asked her to promise that she would protect Falval. And if she chose not to do it, she would not be able to remove the curse. When Falval arrived at their house, she was horrified to find Owen's body that was stabbed multiple times. The executioner ordered the two men to hold her, and Craig also came there. They looked at Falval's tongue, and they confirmed that she had a witch curse. Since they could not remove it to get Falval's power, they decided to kill her too. The executioner also showed to her his face, which turned out to be Kven, and said that he regretted that he would no longer be able to taste her tea next time. Even before they could kill her, Godot suddenly came to save Falval. Kven attacked her, and while being attacked, she told Falval to get out of there. But Craig also helped and hit Godot by his attack. After Craig threw her away, Ashraf came there to interfere. He told Falval to approach Godot because she was their only hope. Falval immediately followed, and when Godot got up, she was surprised when Falval suddenly kissed her. Through this, Godot was able to return to his original body, so when Kven was about to kill Ashoff, Godot immediately punched him. Craig tried to attack too, but with just a blow from Godot, he was also thrown away due to strong force of the punch. Kven got up again and immediately attacked. He ordered the villagers to take Falval as a hostage so they could attack Godot. But they did not expect that Falval could already use her vocative magic that she managed to cast her spell on them. Then Falval extinguished the fire from their house, causing Kven to be surprised. It turned out that Godot used a witch body, so the curse on Falval was also removed. When Falval approached Kven, she did not hesitate to kill him. And because of Craig's condition, he did not last long either. Fortunately, the enemies did not completely kill Owent, so Falval was able to heal his stab wounds. Godot was disappointed after learning that the effect of the method that Ashoff told her was only temporary. It also only worked once per witch, so she had to find another witch again to use her real body. In Godot's desire to speed up her search for the witch who cursed her, she decided to work with Ashoff. That was the day when she became a member of the Order of Magical Resonance. As Ashoff felt that his ribs had healed, he told Godot that he had something else to teach her. Since Godot seemed interested in this, he told her that he was referring to the thing called love. He wanted to teach Godot what love really is. A few days later, they went to a deep pit that was on the island between the 7th and 8th continents. When they arrived at the location, they entered what was called the Fall. It had 17 levels and each level was connected to another world. Ashoff suspected that Angela's carving was part of the Fall's writing system. To find Angela again, it was possible that they could find it there, or they might get a clue of her whereabouts. When they reached the 4th floor, they went first through the dressing room. The guard was surprised when Ashoff said that they needed all black clothes, which meant something, and the man knew what Ashoff was referring to. After they got dressed, they went to the world connected to it, and it was the world where vampires live. This is the end of the last episode of The Witch and the Beast Season 1. I hope you like it, and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss newly uploaded videos. Thank you for watching.